Okay, everyone, are we ready? I'm going to get you my screen share here. Should be easy to find. Sun bright green. How do you like this view? Here comes it looks like a diplobacilli. He's swimming down through here, right here. Looks like there's a segment right there. Oh my, we missed that one. I think this is a flagellate just because of the motion. This is, ooh, he's a fast moving flagellate. I just seen his single arm. That one resembles movement of a ciliate. I'm trying to capture them as they're swimming on by. This is looking like a flagellate cyst or an amoeba cyst. So I would have to go up and down through the column of fluid to get a focus on that one. He was swimming a little too low or a little too high. We are focused on one single plane here. So it's like I can just find you enough little guys to, this is a flagellate. You see he's just kind of bumbling around. Flagellate, this is a flagellate. It's funny because you can see them flipping that. It looks like a this is a flagellate here. Also, bullwhip. Reminds me of a bullwhip out front. And apparently they throw that out there and then they pull themselves forwards. That's why they got that bumbling, whipping around, whip flash going on. I just, you got to see that little bullwhip that you're throwing out there. There's a teeny tiny little flagellate going and bumbling around. So this is our Protozoan Infusion that I built the second time. There was no extract used. This was just from environmental debris and then put together, and I put in a stimulant when I put them in the brewer. And next time I'm going to wait to add the stimulant 3 days maybe if they're dormant. Although what I'm finding is if there's food out there in the environment, the flagellates are alive and going in February. I didn't check temperature, but it was in the 50s probably. Woo, I wonder what that fast moving guy is. He's way too fast for me to focus in on. And the next time I'm going to contain the substrate inside a mesh bag. I do not want that substrate floating at the top hindering my vortex for oxygen penetration into the top layer of water, and then my bubblers on the bottom, which will help. It helps the vortex to go. Plus, we'll add some more oxygen. With that little flagellate was a fast mover. So as far as I'm kind of concerned, when you're looking at these protozoan infusions, you almost kind of just sit in one spot and look, because I mean, I can take you around here and you can look around and see. So I'm going to say that's probably an amoeba cyst. It may be a ciliate cyst wanting to wake up. Here's quite a few protozoans. I'll call them protozoans, flagellates. Ooh, there's one up there in our view too. You see his little his little bullwhip out there. Ooh, there, he's got a big bullwhip, this one that was going. It's probably why he's moving a lot faster. They got more. Oh, it reminds me of a bullwhip. You guys, you know where I've been in life. Cattle roper. I guess. I was going to the rodeos when I was a kid. The one thing I had to have was a bullwhip. I cracked myself up as a child. I cracked myself up as an adult. Look at these guys hanging out here. Man, Protozoan Infusion for the win. This one does it. I'm going to change some of my substrate. The more you get out there and you start digging around in what you're looking at, you get it under the microscope, you start finding where, finding where to locate this stuff. And now your next goal is to feed it and see how you can multiply and make these numbers rapid, like big numbers, so that you can get them out on the fields and get them restructuring that soil and increasing that porosity. this is pretty amazing. I do see that, what was it, 24 hours ago I gave you the last video. I hope I did. Anyway, I can check that on my, I think it might be on my screen here. I'm on my computer, so it's recording from my computer. So I'm pretty sure it'll have the date and everything on these Zoom meetings. Here's lactobacillus. He's really going around. That's probably, there's flagellate. He came to the top, bumbling around, using his bullwhip. I hope Dr. Lane starts calling it that instead of an arm out there out front. That's a bullwhip. She'll lasso up something like a tree or like particle in there, and then she'll pull herself towards it. Let's all start calling them bullwhips. We gotta have fun, you guys. This gets very stressful. Oh, trying to learn all this, especially at our age. Okay, I want to try to zoom in on this aggregate here. This would be a piece of plant debris, I'm sure. But I gotta move extremely slow when we're zoomed in. Man, it's right around there. There's a lot of, you can just, for a second, right there, I'm zoomed in, bacillus there in that environment. And then I'm gonna just focus down and around on this. I see a double, so that's an amoebicyst, double outer wall amoebicyst. And then this, let's look, see if we see any septate in there. Septum. I almost want to say I do, but boy, they are hard to pick out with all that aggregates and particles from the bacteria. Looking in on these flagellates here. Let's see what we can find attached. Ooh, here comes. Here comes. You can see that bullwhip just at the right moment. They really lasso stuff with those things. This is very active and interesting infusion for me here. Anyway, seeing a lot of activity. This is a fun one. I guess I'm happy because before, remember, I was seeing a lot of anaerobic, and that's, I think, because I stimulated too soon. I shouldn't have. It was the protocol, but I'm finding, I think, wait a little bit till your numbers are higher, then stimulate. So you don't, so you've got the livestock there when you stimulate, and then the food supply comes in. The livestock are high in numbers to devour the food stuff. That's prey or predator interaction. So you want your prey very high in numbers when you add, no, you want your predator very high in numbers when you add the prey. So your stimulant will be the prey. You're feeding them prey. And you add your prey. Don't add your prey before you've got your livestock numbers high. That'd be like taking a cow and feeding it a 5-gallon bucket of food. You're going to kill your cow. Especially if they haven't been used to that prior to. You all know what I'm talking about there. But if you have a whole feedlot full and you give them a 5-gallon bucket, then each cow only gets 2 mouthfuls. So in these fusions, I'm thinking grow your livestock first, then feed them. And that way, your feed stock, your, okay, let me think of how we talk about this now. I got to get good at speech. So your predators are there. And so when you add the feedstock to your predators, they're going to devour it before it goes sour. Like if you put the pile of food there, a 5-gallon bucket in there in your feed tank, and you have one cow and they don't go devour it like cows normally do, and it starts to ferment and rot and go bad and suck out all the oxygen in the environment, that your cow dies. Think of it that way. This is a fun spot to just sit and look at all these little, those are our predators. They're coming in and they're eating prey, and you want your predator numbers high when you're using them as your bioweapons here. We're going to war down in the soil to save our food supply. I don't know how else to think of it. Just a really neat, I can see the bacteria just all around this. I really I'm not seeing septa. So, but the fun thing is, this is a protozoan infusion, and you can definitely see that by just the numbers of protozoans. Okay, let's just look here in this. Let me zoom you down in this aggregate. Okay, let's just watch that aggregate for a second. I mean, granted, we're only seeing a brief, small segment, but do you see how many of them that are in there, in and out, working in there, feeding in there, pulling that together? I think I see a cluster of about 3 or 4 just right here going. And this guy keeps zooming in and out. And then we've got one down here, over here, over here. It's here. This one is here. We've got them coming down from in here. And this is just one slice. It's like the CT scan, you know, you're only seeing a slice at a time. So if we could see the whole picture, I think it would be so busy. So let's go up to the top here and see what, if there's something or anything floating around up here. I'm not seeing anything. Really good. Let's go down. I'm still looking for septa throughout that. Okay, I don't see anything this far. So what we do is just kind of go back to that segment and kind of watch what's flying in and out. I feel like we are under aerobic conditions right now. I don't see a whole lot of anaerobes, but you could get to see the action right here. We'll keep this going and see how long we can keep going and multiplying. See how high the numbers we can get. I actually need to take a sample. I need to get on to SMAPS there and figure out how many micrograms of biomass I have in this infusion. That means counting. And that's okay. That's not hard to do. This here looks like a ciliate. It's holding still. You see all those particles zooming on past it? That would be using its cilia to, like an oar on a boat. It's got a bunch of them and it's moving. You can see the vortex around that. The only thing is, since it's like not moving, I almost want to say, is it still a amoeba? Yeah, I think it's Stella amoeba. I can vaguely see this really thin stranded hair. I did not know that they would cause a vortex like that with those fine hairs. They're long, fine hairs. I wish I could get them. Let me see if I can close. I can't close the condenser anymore to get you guys a better focus. You do see better in the microscope. Let me see if I can find it in here. Ooh, my microscope is way too white. I would have to. The nice thing about looking through your camera is that you change the color to be able to see more. Oh, so um it it's got, boy, this is hard to explain. Do you guys see this line? Okay. This line coming off of it, I think that's what it's holding still with. And then it's got like a mouth right here. And it's almost like it's almost like a rotifer. You can see this saw-like action running in this camera way better than you can on that screen. I'm so glad to see that my screen is very close to being able to show you guys exactly. Oh gosh, this is fun. Okay, so that might be just a flagellate doing that. Yeah, it's got that, it's got the bullwhip out front, so it's just a flagellate holding still, real still. She's got that bullwhip hanging on to something, and she's using something in there to pull stuff around her. I'm almost gonna spend more time just looking at this stuff too with my real livestock out. You know, I love to observe them. And that's how you learn their behaviors, is by observation. So what's this guy? It's moving so fast. So we've really downed the numbers of anaerobes and facultative anaerobes. So I think my predators have finally gotten to be numbers that are large enough that they're whacking them off. That's what's happening. I kid you not. I thought this whole thing is probably a scam, but I'm like seeing all this underneath here. Well, we're really gonna, we got to be able to. Here's another one of those things that's holding real still with the bullwhip. Right there, that one. Those ones are moving too fast for me yet. I'm not a wizard on the focus. What are these guys going to be able to do my first year when I go for using just this on my row crop? I hope I have phenomenal results. We pull this off. I will be singing praises through the roof. That's a little silly, I think. Wish she'd come to the top where she'd stay in focus longer so I could get a good eye on her. Right here on camera. I'm sorry, guys, I can't chase her down. Just can't do it. What are they? What is that? The two. Trying to chase the one. Trying to get you. Nope. Not gonna get it. It's moving way too fast. I gotta get good enough to predict whether they're going up or down. And then I can follow it. Maybe better that way, but almost maybe spirillum. I thought I seen when it does a change, corkscrew type deal. I don't know. That was a hard one. These are two flagellates, or flagellates there. They seem active, but they seem like they're just holding still. I see the bullwhip. Do you guys see the bullwhip? You see it right here? She's hanging on right here to that. Oh, I want to focus on whatever that is. I can. And it seems to be dragging something like behind it, kidney-like shape thing with an appendage coming out. Flagellate, definitely. It's just I want to see the different flagellates, see what they look like. I don't know why. They're all protozoans. That's all I need to know. I need to quit. But I want to learn this, so I feel like this is the best way I'm going to do it, is by looking at a lot of them, saying, oh, yeah, I've seen that before. That's the one with the bullwhip. So that's why you want to do your protozoan infusion, so you can have many of them to look at. That is explained in your foundation course. Your 4 foundation courses. I don't know which one it is. The protozoans are all, you know. She explains how to do the infusion. Okay, we'll wrap this up. I can be here all day and I have a lot to get done. Thinking about doing another thermophilic pile this weekend because it's middle of February, but the temperatures have been spectacular. So y'all know it's gonna get freezing cold after I start that pile, right? It's gonna be my fault. Always my fault. I'm telling you, it's always my fault. That's why I did not. It's not my fault. It's not my fault. It's always my fault. That's the funny part. People don't realize I'm just being sarcastic when I say it's not my fault. They don't think I'm telling the truth and that it's real. I already know. I'm an instigator. They need to change that. Content creators or an influencer. They need to just straight up call it what it is, an instigator. I got all kinds of crew members looking for an adventure following me around because I can get myself in some doozies. I'm watching this one here. You see this one here kind of going, yeah, it's dragging its bullwhip behind it. It's doesn't seem to be using the bullwhip. Okay, can everybody just start calling that a bullwhip now? So I can get in trouble. Oh, right. I love all you guys. See you back to have another look at this infusion in a day, probably. We're getting some good numbers here, and they are fun to watch. So we will stop the share and we will close out for today. I want to thank you all so much for being here, putting up with me, and joining along in this venture. Hey, keep rooting me on. Okay. Spread the love far and wide. Get here and stay here permanently and get your friends here. And we're going to make this thing go viral or not.